on, my home studio engineers. Thank you so much for checking out the Home Recording Network, where I do my best to help you with your home production skills. Are you working with a bunch of mono tracks in your mixes and struggling to get your songs sounding big and wide? Maybe you are working with instruments like guitars or even keyboards that have one mono output, and because of this, your mixes are coming out narrow and even lifeless because there's no stereo spread. Well, I have a trick that is going to fix this problem, and the good news is that it can be replicated in any DAW. And I am not just talking about changing the output of your track to stereo, because as you may have discovered, this really doesn't make any difference to your track. It may appear that the track is in stereo, but as you will hear, there really is no audible difference. I recently had a band in to record, and their piano player brought in a keyboard with one mono output. And this is a huge bummer because of course we want our piano track sounding really big and really wide. So in this mix, I did have to use this trick, but that's great because it gives me an opportunity to show you guys. And what's great about this technique is that it can even be used on actual stereo tracks to get them sounding wider than they already are. So sit back and relax. Let's take a look at how to affect the stereo spread of our mono tracks. And if you want even more help on how to achieve a wide song, make sure you check out the other video I made on the keys to a wide mix. Now let's hop in the DAW. All right, so here is the mix, and we're going to be focusing on this piano track here, but let's just take a listen to the mix first, and I'll occasionally solo the piano. And I hope you are listening on, some headphones or studio monitors. I certainly hope you're not listening on your phone, because that would kind of be pointless with this video.
Building castles in the sky. I'll break your fall when you fly. Wrap me up in clouds with you, and I'll be fine. Close your eyes. Let the air kiss your skin and make you grin and feel alive.
All right, sounds great, right? Sounds wonderful. So we're going to get into this technique. I'll show you what it sounded like when it was recorded, what we turned it into, and how we did it. But first, if you like this video or it helps you in any way, don't forget to like and subscribe so that I can reach more engineers out there like yourself that need help. All right, so I have this piano on solo. We are just going to take a listen to it, and then I'm going to bypass the plugins on and off, and you will certainly be able to tell how narrow it gets with these plugins disabled. This is just night and day, right? I mean, this thing gets so wide, it sounds like a stereo instrument. Now, a lot of pianos, more expensive pianos and nicer pianos and keyboards usually do have a stereo output on them, which is what you want. But in this case, it didn't. And I know there's probably a lot of people out there using budget pianos like this. So this little trick is great for instruments like that. Now, there is just one plugin in this chain that is actually making this thing sound like it's a stereo instrument. And I'm just going to get rid of that plugin right now because I want to start from scratch. And I'm going to bypass the other plugins and the effects on the chain. First, I want to show you that switching the output of this track from mono to stereo, like up here in Logic, doesn't do anything at all. So here it is in mono. Hit play. And if we switch this thing to stereo, you're going to hear that it sounds exactly the same. Yeah, exactly the same. So, although there's actually, two channels being shown here now because the track is technically in stereo, we can see that the volumes on both the sides are exactly the same. An actual stereo track is going to have different volume peaks on the left and right, and that's what makes it stereo. So, some people like to call this mono stereo or stereo mono. Basically, what it means is the track is still in mono. There's no widening happening here. It's still a mono track. So this thing is up the middle, right? Which we don't want. The way that we kind of get around this is we throw on a stereo delay plugin. Now, every DAW should have this as a stock plugin. So I'm just going to pull up the stock Logic stereo delay, and then we're going to select mono to stereo here. Pull that up. There we go. All right, so this is going to be very easy to set up. I'm going to do it real quick, and then I'll come back and maybe explain it a little bit. So for the output here, we have a left and right output. For the right, I'm going to bring that all the way down to 0 so that the right side of the track is unaffected. It's just going to be the original track. The left side, I'm going to move up to 100%. So that's going to be completely affected. So whatever I set the left side to. For the tempo sync, I'm going to turn that off because we're going to work in milliseconds here. So for the right side, doesn't really even matter what we set here because the output is set to 0%. So this right side isn't even going to be doing anything. For the left side, I'm going to set this time delay to 10 milliseconds. Now, this can change a little bit, and I'll discuss that. For the feedback, that's going to be set at 0 because we want the left side to delay one time. We don't want it to constantly keep delaying. So now if we play this track, it should be in stereo now. So I'm going to bypass it, and then I'll bring it in. Yeah, you hear how much bigger that got? Let me play it again, and then I'll keep it on, and then I'll bypass it. What we've basically done here is split this track into a left and right channel, and then just delayed one of the sides by 10 milliseconds. So that's not a lot at all. We can even go even bigger with this. I usually am around 10 to 20 milliseconds, but I'll mess with this and show you guys. Yeah, if we start to go too much, you can really tell that that other side is delayed. Just be careful with this. Like I said, I like to stick between, 10 and 20 milliseconds. But if you really start to stretch it out too much, you can sometimes cause phase issues. Again, what you do here is basically pick one of the sides, left or right, to leave unaffected. We chose the right side. And then the left side is completely 100% wet and delayed by 10 milliseconds. And then just make sure your feedback is all the way down on your affected side. And that should do the trick. But what I want to show you now is how we can even use this trick to make an actual stereo track sound even bigger than it already is. All right, so this is another mix that I'm working on. And let's just give this a play. Now this pre-chorus section in green here has a piano part in it. So let's take a listen.
January came and now it's August. Even summer isn't always what it seems. All along this crazy ride. All alone.
Maybe just solo that piano part there. So let's take a listen. Now, this was recorded with an actual stage piano. So this was recorded in stereo. So let's just take a listen without any of the plugins on. So let's take a look at the fader too. You'll see that the left and right side are not matched up. So this is a stereo track. Yeah, so it is in stereo and it sounds pretty good, but we can just use that same exact trick to make this baby even wider. And again, these are the same exact settings that we had on the other track. The right is just unaffected. The left channel is 100% wet with 10 milliseconds of delay on it. So that's it. That's how you can turn your mono tracks into a wide stereo track, or even make your stereo tracks wider. And you can try this technique out on a lot of different instruments. I've had to do it on acoustic guitar before. But yeah, give it a shot. Tell me how you like it. That's your tip for the day. Hope you enjoyed it. Happy mixing, guys. Hey guys, if you like this video, be sure to download your free Ultimate Home Studio Mix Guide with your go-to EQ and compression settings for all your tracks. And also be sure to register for my free online mix training that I hold a couple times a week so that you can learn how to make radio quality music from your home without breaking the bank.